our family members. Now, this is not an approach that's going to work for everybody, and that's okay. But what we're interested in is those people who are interested in starting on this journey with us as participants, as full participants. We anticipate that it will take somewhere between 18 to 36 months to develop housing. And what we are anticipating is that there will be groups of families who will come together. We would like to have as many people who are interested in taking the next step with us come to the next meeting. And what it's going to require is a commitment on your part. It's going to require a commitment of time. It's going to be regular meetings. I know everybody loves meetings. But this is different. This is about our futures for our families and our kids. It's going to require our resources, both financial and personal resources, our connections, who we know, how we can approach other people and draw them into this process to support us. And it's going to require some travel. We expect anybody who's going to start on this process to travel with the group to Evanston for 2 days for the initial training, after some initial meetings here in town. And then there will be more planning and more homework to do after that 2-day visit to Evanston. And then there will be an on-site 2-day workshop here later on as the teams progress. It's going to cost some money. I mean, we need some outside expertise, and the cost is $3,500 from each family. There is financial assistance for those who need it, and please contact Sarah through the email that's on the materials that you've got included. In the packet, we have the meeting date, the flyer, some frequently asked questions, answers to those, as well as an agreement for which it lays out exactly what Families Can is going to do, what we expect each family group to do, and what the Center for Independent Living will do. We know that this is a process that will be shared. And although our families are different and our children are different, we can work together to develop a shared vision, pool resources, our personal strengths, and our community connections. We have to be able to support each other. And we also have to be able to start to get ourselves ready to let go, as well as getting our family members ready to leave and to move out and to achieve new levels of independence. So, if you're interested in getting started with us on the next step, please read the packet, the information in the packet. You'll be receiving an email from us in the next couple of days requesting that you RSVP and let us know if you're interested in the next meeting. The next meeting will be in this building on Tuesday, May 31st at 7 p.m. Across the hall. We're planning to ask you to complete a short homework assignment. It's not a graded homework assignment. This is really more about telling us about your child and about your family and where you've been, where you are now, and where you hope to be. And if you have questions about any of this process, please email us in the interim. So we'll be meeting again in approximately 3 weeks. So I'm going to open it up for questions about the process. Yes?
I'm kind of advocating it early, so if it's going to be some rolling thing, so like they're saying in 2 years, 5 years, is this going to be something where another group will go in a few years? Like,
It's
for people the question.
Yeah, so the question is, how is it going to work if I'm not ready now, or my child is not ready now, is not too young or something like that. So what we're anticipating is we want people who are interested right now in starting to move forward. But we anticipate that in another year, even another 6 months, that we would have another group of families get together and start on the same process. So it's a repetitive process, and obviously we learn, you know, the first group is going to be the guinea pig, you know. You get to be early in, although, you know, you learn from, you know, what's successful, what works, and what doesn't work. So it's going to be a repetitive process. And I'm sure that we'll get better as an organization the more we do this. Any other questions? Yes?
How soon do you anticipate this training will begin?
Well, we've asked CIF what their possibilities for dates are, and there's one date at the end of June. There are a couple of dates in July. I think that we said August is probably not possible, and then we're talking about September. So it depends on it's mutual schedules. We'll see what happens. Whether we travel on Sunday, you know, late in the afternoon or evening, start on Monday, and then leave on Tuesday afternoon and fly back home, or whether we, you know, arrive on Thursday morning and all day Friday, and then come home in time for dinner or a late dinner on Friday night, or whether we travel on, do it on Friday and Saturday. All that is to be determined by what the preferences of the participants is.
Do you bring your loved one or no?
This is a full-time commitment that you're going to be making. So I think that if you're going to bring your loved one, you've got to have somebody else who's responsible for them. Because we need your head, hands, and heart really present at these at the training. Yes, Amy?
So that's a question I actually have for you both. I'm thinking about, you know, what part of your process is the individual that's living in their home brought into the system? Okay.
You know, families often start with families coming in having already had conversations, but when it comes to taking action and going out and looking at potential opportunities and properties, most families also include individuals from their family going with them, because how do you know? I mean, there may be something you don't even pay attention to, and to them, they just go, oh, I just couldn't, that would really bother me, or that's fantastic. So what we see is families definitely start engaging at that point. Sometimes they don't engage sooner because there's a lot of conversation, a lot of decisions being made, and sometimes anxiety gets built a lot when it's just, there's nothing for you to do or to be able to show them.
But the families might get their children together outside
Absolutely,
of home.
absolutely. One of the main things that we do with community building is families meeting together to be able to learn to know each other. I mean, that is about building community. When you learn to know each other and the people you love, you know, and they know each other, it's a very powerful experience.
Are your arrangements co-ed? Some are.
One is not.
No, I know the high rises are, obviously, but.
Yes,
But you know, Chicago Avenue, that's not, that is co-ed. But no, like in the 2-bedroom,
Yes.
it's 2 men that live there together, not.
But like in the one where it's going to be, if it's like a house with rooms, are they, like, just say 4 guys, or could it be 2 guys and 2 girls, or whatever?
We have not done that. At this point, we've had families that want a floor for girls, and then there was a floor for boys at one point. So there were co-ed houses, but they weren't co-ed units.
That's it, okay.
Other questions? Yeah.
Alan, so then for the next meeting, it's for people who are willing to make a clear commitment. If you're gonna come to the next meeting, you're looking for someone who's really willing to commit and go forward.
I think that what we're looking for the next meeting is people who feel like now is the time to start. Okay? So if you're saying, I don't think this is for me, or I'm going to wait and, you know, it's going to be a year from now, I'm ready to let somebody else be the guinea pig, that's fine. That's fine. But I think what we're looking for at the next meeting is to get a core group of families who are ready to say, I'm ready to get started now.
Alan, can
Yes,
If there's somebody here who's on the fence and says,
that's fine.
okay, so this next meeting is a possibility for a fence person who says, I just don't know yet, I need to know
Yes.
more about these families.
Absolutely. I think that part of our everybody's anxiety about this is, who am I going to be working with? And do I share anything with them? Can I get along with them? And that's going to be a process. But if, I'm sorry, whoever it was that asked the question, my child is 17, and you feel like, I'm not going to be ready for 4 years, then this is probably not the propitious time, the right time. On the other hand, if you feel like, in the next 3 years, that could possibly happen, it may be a stretch, but I don't feel comfortable yet with this whole process, please come, Us getting to know you, you getting to know us, and I don't mean us as an organization, or Sarah and me, I'm talking about the other people who are going to be on this journey with us. I mean, Sarah and I are going to be participating, not as the people who started Families Can, but because we want something for our son.
So this is creating a solution for the housing, or working towards a solution for the housing. What about during the day for our loved ones? Do they just stay home, and how does that work?
I think we are expecting that families also have to be working simultaneously on what are they going to do during the day. And I think the answers to that are even more broad and more unique to each individual. We'd like to assist people, but we're not going to go out and find a job for your child. We're going to help you connect with resources that can help you find what's the right situation for your child. And we have a lot of connections. We all know collectively about a lot of programs. And I think that, any one of us knows a small portion of the universe of what the possibilities are. So that's the whole point of this collective approach to doing this.
Is there any component of transportation included in the arrangements that you've described to us? Like for example, somebody that's working in the community in a competitive work environment, does the family just manage that on their own, or for recreational opportunities, or is transportation incorporated in any of the living arrangements that you talked about?
So the families and the houses that were opened in Evanston are on main transportation routes, public transportation. They have PACE possibilities, which is, assisted transportation door to door. They also is an L, and we do an enormous amount of training with our tutoring on how to use public transportation for the individuals that we work with. We have individuals who travel into the city on the L to go to work. We have some individuals who are using paratransit to get around. So,
I think it's safe to say that we absolutely, proximity to public transportation is key for wherever the locations are.
Although many jobs or other recreational opportunities may not be on those public transportation routes, especially in the suburbs.
It's a challenge.
And so working through those questions with family groups is what we do. And again, those may be things we can bring to the table.
So, being, 20 minutes from Wayne on to the side, one way or the other is going to be a lot different than being 2 blocks from Lancaster Avenue. So, those are issues that have to do with the location of housing, and that's absolutely one of the key elements of location.
2 minutes.
Do you have a business plan or budget for the 3,500, so that we know what,
So the
besides the training, what are we getting? So when someone invests that amount, what?
It's on that sheet.
So you're getting the expertise of CIF and also the assistance of a community housing facilitator who's going to work with your group and other groups to help you through this process.
Would you be willing to share, not that obviously a business, every person's business plan differs depending upon what your concepts are and what your
what is it paying for, besides the training?
It is,
Back here, and then,
right. So I think that the way different groups set themselves up is going to vary from group to group. And so some groups feel that they need to have an incorporated organization. Other groups feel like, you know, I don't really need that. So that part is not included. So I think because different groups decide how they're going to do this differently. Some may decide, you know, we're going to partner with a housing developer, and we're going to make decisions together, but we don't need a legal entity to do that. So I can't predict that. But you know, a lot of these costs are things that, you know, we can get donated. That families know, you know lawyers, and they know accountants and people who are willing to do stuff pro bono. So I don't think that the legal fees and those kinds of things are the major cost. Other questions?
I think it's a good question though, because it's moving forward, and this is jumping way forward, where if you're approaching people who might be willing to invest, that's one of the core things they're going to ask you, because I already do that. He said, you know, business plan, yeah.
I think every group has to have a different business plan, because if you have an ownership model, that's a totally different business plan than a rental model. Any other questions?
Just one more. No. So from what I'm hearing, it's the individual will have to be able to use public transportation, will have to be at a certain level.
So no, that's not the case. What will happen is families will come together and figure out their support needs for their specific individuals and how they can work together. So there's no rule at the beginning of this of what you can and can't do. And so what it will be is a group of families meeting and talking about what those needs are going to be and what support needs they do have for their individuals in terms of transportation or other things. So I think we need to call it a night. I know people need to get on to the rest of their lives, and I want to thank you very much for coming out today, and we're looking forward to the next step for families from this group. I know if you've got questions,